What's up, everyone? This is your friendly neighborhood guitarist, Ernesto Fuentes, off of EBF Guitars. Now, now after talking to this one dude at work, and hey, if you're watching this guy, you know who you are. Shout out to you. Uh, I decided that it's time that I talk about this guitar that I'm pretty sure a lot of you have become quite familiar with. This is, I believe, a 1986 Westone Spectrum SX. Now, a little bit of history on the Westone company. This is a company that started around the mid-70s, and it was bought out by the St. Louis Music Company in at around the 1980s, early 80s-ish. And then I believe in 1984 they started merging they ended up merging with the Electra Company, which was also owned by the St. Louis Music Company. And later on, a lot of their instruments during the period of the 80s ended up becoming made in the Matsumoto Company in Japan, which is where this particular bad girl comes from. Now, I decided to name this guitar Melisandre after the Red Witch in the Game of Thrones series. Now, some of you may watch the show, some of you may not. Whoever has, trust me, you guys know why. As to why I named the guitar Melisandre, and well, obviously because she's all red, and quite literally all red. Minus the pickups on the bridge, of course, and the hardware. But, and, I'm just going to explain this guitar a little bit. Now, this was, I believe, an 86 model. I mean, as you can see, the aesthetic is just really, really awesome. It's got a Ben Master Deluxe bridge, which is just absolutely phenomenal for doing your little dive bombs or your whammies. But it's not like a Floyd Rose. It's similar, but it's really not. And the reason being is because if you look closely at this guitar, let me just unplug this real quick. If you look closely, you see that little slot right there to slide the strings in. Now, for those of you who use a Floyd Rose, know that to put the strings in, what you got to do is you got to cut the ball end of the strings off and just start putting them in and screwing it all up, and just screwing it back together, and it just becomes completely tedious and just downright annoying whenever you pop a string. But with this one is actually not bad because it kind of follows a similar mechanic to a traditional Fender bridge, which of course is string through. You slide the strings through the back, bring them up. But with this one, if you look closely at the bridge, you see these little hook things. As you can see there, you see like these what appear to be little niches, and you hook the strings on and you just slide them up, and then you slide them up and you make sure to lock these up with an Allen wrench. Now, these actually hold the strings in place so that it never really goes out of tune. But just don't make the mistake I made of screwing it on too tight. Otherwise, the string pops because it just adds a little too much tension. Now, a little bit of the configuration here. It's an HSS configuration, as in humbucker, single coil, which is typical of a lot of guitars made in the 1980s, because a lot of them do like the thick, crunchy sound of a humbucker instead of the twangy, high-pitched noise of a single coil. But the one thing that really makes this guitar stand out to me, now first and foremost, I bought this guitar at a pawn shop, for $160, and let me tell you, this has got to be the best $160 I ever spent. Now, I remember talking to the original owner of the guitar, which was a dude from Australia who was actually pawning the guitar, and I looked at it and I thought, wow, man, this thing looks really sweet. And I told him, dude, that is a nice guitar, man. Like, it just looks really sweet. And he was like, thanks, man. You know, like, unfortunately, I can't play her anymore because I got other endeavors and I just don't really have a lot of time to play her. And then after years passed by, I just kept seeing this guitar just hanging on the rack, and I felt kind of bad because the guitar just looked really sweet and it just looked really cool, you know, as you can see, because of the aesthetic of the guitar. It just looks really cool, and I really like the construction. So I began doing a little bit of research on it, and one thing that really stood out to me, and this is what really prompted me to buy the guitar, is the fact that it actually has a coil splitting function. Now, for those of you who don't know what a coil splitting function is, I'm going to elaborate it to you guys in the best way possible, and that is, with a flick of a switch, you can make this particular pickup go from a humbucker all the way to just cutting the power in half to making it a single coil pickup. So yes, that's right. You can make this pickup go from humbucker to single coil with a flick of a switch. And when I thought about that, I was considering getting a new guitar at the time with that function, but a lot of them were pretty pricey. So then I saw this one and I thought, you know what? You have sold me, sir. And I run over to the pawn shop on my birthday and I said, you know what? This is what I'm getting. This is going to be my birthday present to myself. As sad as that sounds. But but yeah, I gave it to myself as a birthday present, and I've been very happy with it since. Now again, a little more about the guitar. This is a maple body. Like, it's just straight up all maple. The neck and the fingerboard is all maple. Fingerboard is hard maple. And being a Les Paul guy, I never really looked at maple as a straight up body wood. You know, just being only made for bodies. I always looked at it as just the top for a mahogany body, just to kind of add a little extra brightness. But I took this guitar home, I restrung it. I had to get a new tailpiece, a new tremolo bar, because I just couldn't find the original. So I had to go to Guitar Center, buy some strings for this guitar, and then buy a new whammy bar. And after restringing it, letting the tension just sort of build up on the guitar, I started playing it. I tuned it up. I tuned it to standard, because this guitar is tuned to standard, and it always will be. Because there's some songs that I tend to write and cover on this guitar that are in standard tuning. Now regarding the coil splitting, I experimented with it immediately, and I was blown away. And I mean, if you guys are really looking for a really sweet, sick-looking guitar, with a nice aesthetic and just pretty flashy, and yet at the same time kind of bare bones with the coil splitting function, I highly recommend that you guys go on Reverb and just look up Westone guitars. That's Westone, Westone, I believe. Yeah, just look at Westone. Look that up, and trust me, you guys will be blown away. And it is just, like I said, these guys make absolutely amazing guitars. Now, unfortunately, they don't know a little bit more on the history. Like in 1988, around that time, the company Wesson started making their guitars in Korea. So a lot of their models just sort of disappeared after a while, and I mean it's still around, but it's just not as prevalent as it used to be. So I'm lucky enough to grab one of these while I could. So I'm gonna give you guys a little demo on not only the pickups but also on the coil splitting. Again, same rule applied as to the demo I made with Lilith. 3 channels, clean, mild distortion, or crunch as it's set to my Black Star, and distortion. And I'm gonna obviously use the coil splitting function on the bridge pickup. So here it is on the clean setting. Now I'm gonna play it humbucker first, and then you get the gist of it. So this is just using the full power on clean. Now here it is using single coil. So as you can see, the difference is pretty prevalent. So you can go from sounding all full to sounding half. Now, of course, here it is on. Now I'm gonna give a little demonstration, I should say, on the middle pickup, which is also a single coil. So that's the middle pickup, and now going to the neck pickup, which is the warmest of the pickups. So here goes. There it is, all 3 pickups on clean, including the single coil. Now, again, same routine, only this time it's going to be on the crunch setting. So here it is, again, full humbucker. Alright, so that's it on the humbucker. Now, single coil time. goes. Now time for the middle pickup. Alright, now again, neck pickup. Now comes the fun part. Heavy distortion, baby. Now again, same routine. Alright, single coil. Alright, neck position. Middle position, I should say. Back position. Alright, so now I've explained the Westone guitar. I've given you guys a little demo. Now, now again, you guys want a good cheap guitar at a low value and if you're a musician on a budget, or if you're a collector of antique guitars from the 1980s, or if you're like me and just collect guitars just for the sake of collecting them, and also for playing them, of course. This is definitely one guitar I recommend you guys check out. So again, hop on Reverb or eBay or wherever it is you can find it, and seriously, get yourself one of these. This is just an amazing, amazing guitar, very well made. And always just look for the Japanese models, because I'm telling you, man, these guys in Japan really, really know how to make guitars. So, again, this is your friendly neighborhood guitarist, Ernesto Fuentes, signing off. Don't forget to hit like, share, and subscribe to, check out my videos, and also to stay notified. Hit the little bell button, and definitely share this video with your friends, or share any of my videos with your friends, so you guys can just help me out here as I'm starting to make a new YouTube channel. Until then, this is Ernesto Fuentes signing off. Stay metal, stay awesome, everyone. Yeah!